Good afternoon, parents and guardians. Welcome to Kennedy Junior High School Moving On ceremony. We're going to get started here in about a minute or so. Our students will be entering the gym, and then they will be seated, and then we'll go on with our program. Please know after the program, you will have the opportunity to go through these doors right here, or you can go through these doors just on the other side of this wall and enter to the tile gym, where you can take pictures, you can go outside and take pictures. You also have the opportunity to sign your student out, or students out, after the moving on ceremony. And then we'll give you some other directions at that time. But thanks for coming, and thanks for all of your support. And we're going to kick this off here in a minute. So we'll be right back. Welcome. My name is Patrick Gaskin, and I am honored to stand before you today as the proud principal of Kennedy Junior High School. Please join me in honoring the moving on class of Kennedy Junior High 21-22 and the graduating high school class of 2026. I would like to take an opportunity to thank a few people, like our amazing home and school, our parents who has assisted us with the moving on ceremony. I'd also like to thank Mrs. Cummings, Mrs. Freed, Mrs. Northrup, and Mrs. Meter, and all of our 8th grade teachers for their dedication and endless support and preparation for today. They have spent an inordinate amount of time since the beginning of the school year actually planning to make sure everything runs smoothly today. Let's give them a round of applause, please. I'd also like to take a moment to honor our retirees, Mr. Hollander and Mr. Sacker. Their dedication and passion for teaching our country's future leaders as they move on on some aspects of their life into retirement. Congratulations, Mr. Hollander and Mr. Sacker. Our mission is to educate students to be self-directed learner, collaborative workers, complex thinkers, quality producers, and community contributors. Each and every one of our 8th grade students have demonstrated these traits in one fashion or another, hundreds of times this past school year, and many of them on a daily basis over the past 3 years. They have accomplished so much this year, and they have an amazing future ahead of them. Students, your future is what you want to make of it, and the possibilities for you are truly endless. Parents and guardians, I would encourage you to go back and find a photo of your student when they were a 6th grader on the very first day of school and compare it to the pictures that you will be taking today. You will truly be shocked by how much they have grown and matured on so many levels over the past 3 years. Students, in preparation for a moving on ceremony today, I thought a lot about you as a group, as a whole, as a team, and as an individual, and as the graduating class of 2026. That may seem like a long time right now, like a far, far away, but I can assure you the next 4 years of your life are going to go extraordinarily fast. I can assure you of this. When I think of this 8th grade class and the graduating class of 2026, the word resilient keeps reoccurring over and over in my head. Whether it's band, chorus, athletics, orchestra, art, intramurals, clubs, or academics, you will be remembered as the class that was resilient and determined to succeed. Remember to always be driven by what you are passionate about and remain modest. It will ensure that you are successful in whatever comes your way and take you very far in your lifetime. I wish each of you the very best as you move forward on to high school next year, whether you're going to be a Red Hawk, a Red Wing, a Husky, or whether you to choose a different path. But promise yourself one thing today. Don't ever forget your time as an Eagle. You are resilient individuals who will succeed in whatever you choose to become and whatever you put your mind to. Again, I wish you all the best as you move on to high school today. Thank you. We're going to move on in our program, and we are going to watch our 8th grade choir video. It's Memories, arranged by Andy Beck.
Here's to the ones that we got. Cheers to the wish you could hear, but you're not, 'cause the trees bring back all the memories of everything we've been through. Close to the ones here today. Close to the ones that we lost on the way, 'cause the dreams bring back all the memories of the
Next, I would like to introduce Mrs. Northrup as she shares a few words with all of us today. Mrs. Northrup is our 8th grade counselor. Mrs. Northrup.
Good afternoon. It's one of those moments that is etched in my mind. You were all 6th graders at the time. I'm sure it's a vivid memory to you as well. The announcement came, and we were all going home. The hallways filled with excitement and anticipation that this would end up being an extra few days off. But the worry and concern could be seen in the eyes of others. From that day forward, we were all thrust into a world of the unknown, forced into new situations, facing issues even us adults struggled to process. And the losses were many. During the last 2.5 years, I've continued to look for a normal I once knew. I did not realize how strong this pull was until just last month. I was leaving school, and as I walked out of the lobby doors, I noticed the tree out front was in full bloom. You may know the one. It sits right beyond the benches and grows the most beautiful flowers every spring. This has been one of my favorite things to see since I started at Kennedy in 2006. As I walked by, it hit me. I hadn't noticed the tree since that day we had left in March. Since then, despite not having kids swinging from its thick branches, it hadn't changed. Despite no one sitting to enjoy its shade in the hot summer sun, it continued to strengthen and grow. Despite not hearing the chatter as students walked in and out of school, or even the lack of gas fumes from the line of cars each day, it continued to bloom. The whirlwind around me had blinded me from its beauty. That's the thing with life. It's sometimes hard to see beyond the storm, or in our case, the impact COVID had on your time here at Kennedy. At times, you may have felt weathered and weak, doubted the strength of your roots, or been blinded from seeing the possibilities and beauty around you. But look where you sit today. When I look at you, I see growth, I see strength, I see resilience, I see hope, and I see our future. Do not doubt the path in which you have traveled to get here. Yes, there were many twists and turns along the way, but you did not give up. You thrived under circumstances no one could have predicted. You were determined and you persevered. Be proud of your accomplishments. Believe it or not, we can learn something from that old tree out front. Much like you, it has endured. It has become stronger and more beautiful through the stormiest of times. I wish you the best as you transition into high school. Congratulations, class of 2022.
Now we will hear a few words from one of our students on the Explorers team.
Good morning, parents, teachers, and staff, and fellow 8th graders. These past few years have been crazy, and they are years that we'll remember for the rest of our lives. Not because we want to relive the past 3 years, but because of the unconventional journey that we were forced into back in March of 2020. As we entered Kennedy Junior High School as 6th graders, we were nervous, excited, and anxious. We frantically scribbled our locker combinations on our schedules, secured them safely in our pockets, and set them as our phone wallpapers. The first day was terrifying and exhilarating all within the same breath. We did it. We mastered our schedules, made new friends, and 6th grade was going great. Then March 13th, 2020 hit, and our typical middle school experience was changed forever. COVID forced us to be locked up at home for the rest of 6th grade. Our only line of communications with teachers was through email and Canvas. We didn't get to see our friends in person, so we would call them and stay up all night talking to them, wishing that we could see each other again. Soon the school year was over. We spent the summer slowly starting to see people again, though it just wasn't the same. We thought that the pandemic would be over by the time we went back to school, but we were very wrong. 7th grade was supposed to start with us back in school, but we found out we're on Zoom. At first we were happy because it seemed easy and we got to just stay at home every day. We would mute ourselves, show our ceilings, and just sit on our phones all day, barely listening to what the teachers were saying. Grades were going down and half the school year had been at home already. Then we found out we are going back to Kennedy, but hybrid. Some of us decided to go back and some didn't. We didn't have lunch, everyone was wearing masks, and we only saw people from our last name group. Not long after, they let everyone back into school. It still wasn't the same though, since we were so cautious with everything, having to stay 3 feet away from each other and lunch periods getting split. The school year suddenly ended. We spent this past summer making up for the memories that we couldn't the year before. Our 8th grade year was here. As soon as we got our schedules, we checked with our friends to see what classes we had together. We all had new classes, new teachers, and the classes were full again after what seemed like forever. Before we knew it, half of the school year was over. We were so worried about making sure this year's grades were as perfect as we could make them for our final year at Kennedy. We also learned that there are people that bring out the best in us, and we should surround ourselves with them. Finishing off the year, our schedules had been super packed with final assignments, extracurricular activities, and end-of-the-year fun. Everyone has done the most to make the school year the best ever. It's sad to see that some friendships are going to be split up as students begin a new journey at either North or Central. But we will always have our middle school memories to hold on to. I'm glad we made it through the year and are now getting ready to start a new chapter of our lives, meeting new people and starting new hobbies. I know these past few years have thrown a few curveballs at us, but they have made us ready to embrace our futures. Enjoy the summer and have your arms wide open for adventures that await.
"90 minutes. An hour and a half. For 90 minutes I stared at a blank sheet of paper in a dark room, waiting for something to happen. For 90 minutes I waited for some kind of divine light to shine upon me, flooding my mind with idea upon idea, giving me all the components to write the perfect speech, for my speech to be written for me. I rummaged through my brain, searching for some outstanding memory to show its face, a moment that was worth writing about. But as I sat, digging through my brain, something clicked. Why do you need to choose? What makes one memory more important than another? What makes first place more important than last place? Sure, getting first place told you that you could make it, that you could be at the top if you really wanted to, but getting last place told you that you had room to improve. Not being at the top told you you could make changes. Not having a pedestal to stand on teaches you something too. I've made my share of mistakes. I've made my share of stupid decisions. We all have. Maybe it was to make somebody laugh. Maybe it was to look cool. Maybe it was just to feel seen. But I ask you, as I asked myself, what did you say afterwards? That was stupid. Why did I do that? I'm never doing that again. If at a bare minimum you can recognize a poor decision you've made, then you've learned something. You've already made a change. You miss out on experiences, on people you could have formed a bond with. You miss out on chances. You missed out. And that's okay. It's going to happen. Nobody's perfect. Nobody really knows what to do the first time around. But in those missed opportunities, you will learn. You'll know that next time it'll be different. Next time you won't miss out. Next time you'll take the chance. I learned. I told myself that this was not going to be another missed opportunity, accept it or not. I wanted to try. I had to think for a bit to remind myself that my entry wouldn't be perfect. Whenever you do something, you have to realize that it will never be perfect. A wise man once told me that you can't sprint after perfect with such doggedness, with such determination as to make a good and undesirable result. You can't chase a ghost expecting to grab onto something solid. You have to realize that focusing on one sentence of your paper, on one part of your life, and trying to make it perfect is not going to get you anywhere. You have to realize that good is enough. I'm not here because I'm the smartest, not even close. I'm not here because I've never gotten into trouble. Believe me, I have, and many of you know that. I'm not here because I'm perfect. You'll never be picked for anything because you're perfect, because that doesn't exist. You'll be picked for something because it's good, because you're good. You mess up, it sucks. I know. It will not be the grand, shining achievement you want others to see, and it will not be a golden trophy atop a shining pedestal which you can hold out to others with the pride of a lion. But that doesn't matter. It's still important. It still matters. It's still worth remembering. You can't be perfect. Nobody can. But you can be good. Wow, you can be good if you really want to be. Wow, you can be good if you are willing to try. If you really want to be good and you're really willing to try, you can succeed in anything. All you got to do is try.
Next, we will hear from the principal of Naperville Central and Naperville North High Schools, Mrs. Thornton and Mrs. Posey.
Hello, I'm Stephanie Posey, principal of Naperville North High School.
And I'm Jackie Thornton. I'll be the principal at Naperville Central High School next year.
We are so glad that you invited us to become a part of the transition or the moving on ceremony for your junior high. And we look forward to serving as your principals next year as we welcome you to our high schools.
We want to say a thank you to the junior high faculty and staff who have prepared you so well to be a successful freshman year and have instilled a love of learning and an excitement to transition to our high schools.
And of course, it wouldn't be the same without the grandparents and parents and aunts and uncles who I'm sure are sitting in the audience with you today, celebrating your transition from junior high to high school. Thank you for entrusting your children to us.
We look forward to being your principal next year and are so excited to welcome you to the Red Hawk
And the Husky,
family.
thank you very much.
The next part of our program is a presentation of the 8th grade gift. The 8th grade class representative is Arvi Argawal, and she presented the gift during our first moving on ceremony this morning, and we have a video of her presenting that gift to Kennedy.
Thank you, Mrs. Northrup, for being our counselor for the past 3 years. Thank you for all the times you helped so many students and me. Adjusting to your new life is pretty difficult, especially when you have to make new friends. As a result, I went through a pretty rough time, but you were there, helping me the entire time. I found it so much easier to adjust to this new environment, making so many amazing friends along the way. I am sure I am not the only one who helped achieve goals at Kennedy. On behalf of all of them, and the entire Kennedy Junior High 8th grade class of 2022, I would like to present to you with a thank you gift for being with us all these years.
Next, we have our 8th grade orchestra. They will be playing Viva La Vida by Coldplay and arranged by Larry Moore. And now we're to the part of our program that you've all been waiting for. We will be recognizing all of our students on the Explorers team as they move on to high school. I would like to welcome Mr. Hollander to the podium.
I'm in awe of Jackson Sherman right now. It was a great gift. I could not have said it better. So I'm not going to say any more. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to begin the presentation of the 8th grade Explorers team at Kennedy Junior High for the final time. Aiden Cahoon. I should have said, we're going to do a class at a time and give a big round of applause for that class so that we will be done before the buses arrive. Maddie DeVilla. Catherine Dillon. Leon Elenovsky. Charlie Furby. Clara Hansen. Bennett Jesso. Andre Kopel. Sophia Lambert. Reese Lysick. Poppy Marusin. Annabelle Malsby. Marielle Meehan. Carol Ramirez Figueroa. Nyriel Rice. Caden Rios. Jordan Romanelli. Ella Strife. Ryan Wenzel. Gavin Wymunk. Sophia Yin. And a lovely round of applause for this first group. We'll continue with Mr. Klein-Collins.
And now getting the handoff for the final time from a good friend and a great colleague, Dave Hollander. Braden Chow. Ludo Galina. Gavin George. Noah Gingrich. Mahika Gokhale. Izzy Hersher. Delaney Holton. Miles Klein. Quentin Manison. Kevin McCarthy. Scott Murphy. Zaid Qureshi. Jaden Rowland. Jackson Sherman. Matthew Simpson. Sienna Staudica. Sheldon Sun. Braden Tritt. Elvina Vasilyeva. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for the 3-5 block. And now Mr. O'Dowd, being very cognizant not to merge too quickly with traffic, will make his way to the front here and take over with the calling of the Naperville phone book.
And before I start, we do have a sixth member of our team that I would like to stand up. This is a teacher that supports all of our classes socially, academically, and everything. Her name is Dr. Story. Lauren Aglietta. Parker Amumensa. Karina Bassi. Bridget Battaglia. Silas Bearscheid. Jacob Bromfield. Mia Brooks. Jessica DeCoe. Prashanth Idu Puganti. Graham Fix. Siri Gunapanani. Hal Jensen. Delilah Ochoa. Ani Margosian. Connor Marvin. Leo Miller. Josh Newcomb. Mariana Ostapiv. Spanny Patel. Skyla Siegel. Anhal Solario Cordero. Yusuf Sikander. Johnny Stevenson. Megan Teeting. Hannah Vu. Iris Zhang. I'm trying not to look at Mr. Hollander, but let's just say we love you, Mr. Hollander. He's still looking at me. And continuing the Explorers, Mrs. Frost.
Chris Akabani. Anirvinya Bangole. Ethan Barbacha. Evan Bates. Bella Bertolo. Anish Bakina. Aaron Burke. Sam Carlton. Fernando Chanley. Elena Chang. Rosalind Deely. Max Devine. Viviana Ditspalis. Niall Fahad. Mateo Feinerman. Rudra Goyle. Sawyer Hauk. Sawyer, come back here, sweetie. Ryan Gregory. Reagan Holton. Joyce Lee. Zoe Miller. Brian Rarden. Jackie Von Dam. Samantha Bright. Round of applause for these continuing graduates. And presenting the final group of Explorer students is Mrs. Claire Helbig.
Alina Assad. Grace Manfrey. Ryan Beeden. Bobby Blumberg. Margaret Filer. Faith Getz. Gabrielle Henderson. Christian Hill. Travis Holub. Drew Kessler. Abby Cadulis. Evelyn Lee. Rosie Lopez. Chelsea Luna. Josephine Olson. Steffi Patel. Emily Pauling. Faye Pinard. Alex Rosca. Mia Sinkevicius. Gavin Springer. Sam Teeting. Luca Zanita. And now let's give one more big round of applause for all of the Explorers team.
Before we conclude our moving on ceremony, I want to give parents a few directions. Like I stated previously, we're going to let our students exit first. They're going to walk right through those doors. You could go through those doors there to the tile gym or the doors up here. We just ask that you do not go back into the school. And you will have an opportunity for pictures in there. You can also go outside. There will be parent volunteers and other staff by the doors where you can sign your child out, and then they may leave for the day or for the summer. That concludes the 2022 Moving On ceremony, and thank you again for honoring our students today. Let's give them one more big round of applause. Remember, parents, stay seated. Thank you. Thanks again for your support. Thank you for attending, and have a great summer.